Hi, this is a follow-up on my initial hard prune of an azalea video for making bonsai. Um, I want to show you that this is about a month later after I did that hard prune, and I'm going to show you here how this has budded out pretty much everywhere. Even the stumps that were cut hard, they budded back. Somebody left a comment about using cut paste, and I'm going to do a little cutting back now to a little further, and I will put cut paste on this time. It's a good idea, especially with azaleas, because they tended to get dieback where you cut. But I wanted to show you, so this has made it, because it's budded out pretty much everywhere on the tree, that won't be a factor in choosing my front. Um, So, I don't have to worry about an area of the tree that doesn't bud back well or whatever. It all does. So I'm going to turn the tree around. And I've already kind of picked what I think will make the best front. There's multiple choices. You can, tilt the tree and do a, semi-cascade or slant. But I have to consider areas like that. Anything that where I have to do a further cut back where there'll be a wound. Azaleas don't always heal over wounds very nicely, and they'll leave hollowed areas or scars, or so sometimes you can turn it into a little bit of a deadwood feature if you have no other choice. But I think on this tree, you can see as I turn it around, you can get ideas what you think. A lot of different areas show the base really well, a nice wide nabari on this tree. So there's a lot of possible fronts. My choice is somewhere in here. I like the base. I like my main line being, the couple of these trunks. But when I pick a front, if this is going to be my main trunk or this one back here, or I have a couple main trunks. I have to then cut back the other areas that are thin, that don't follow that same theme, where the taper doesn't fit and it's in the back of the tree. So I'm going to prune out some more of the stuff I definitely won't want now that I've chosen a front somewhere in this area here. Alright, so I'm going to get my concave nipper out and do some more pruning on this tree. Alright, so all this little stuff, I can go ahead and cut back. Stuff I know I don't want. Some of these other trunks towards the back that come off higher, I'll cut to where there's been lower buds forming. Like in here, there's buds. So I'll cut up a little higher, cut that off. Try to stay out of my own light here. And just cut all these branches shorter. Still leaving a little bit of a gap between the new growth, because this stuff isn't woody yet. If I cut right to it, that could die back. So still leave a little bit of a nub, and after I do all this cutting, I'm going to apply cut paste. So, and some of these are probably the thickness. If I wanted to take cuttings, I could. This is too thick back here. Move around the tree a little bit here. See what I'm doing. So like again, this is the back side of what I'm looking at as my main trunks. These three here. I can cut this shorter. Cut that. Still going to leave plenty of growth. Let's see. Look around. Not get too hasty. Take another look at everything. Some of this little new growth in between in the crotches here between trunks, I can trim that out. Won't need that. I'll cut a little more on this stump. And I think I still need to shorten these two on the side, so I'm gonna shorten that. All right. Now we can see what I have to work with here. See if I can get light really good on it. So you can see what I got here. So my front's going to be somewhere in here. This will make a beautiful tree. I'll rotate it again so you can see what I did around the entire tree. I could still change my mind on the front later. I have plenty to work with. This could be a front. I could turn this into a hollow in the trunk. So turn the tree around, and this will bud back even more from these cuts. Now my next thing is to apply cut paste or sealant to these cuts, and which I'm going to do now. I have this stuff I bought. That's a sealant I've had for a couple years. I bought it at a convention. Works well. It's cut paste is good, especially if you're showing a tree and you could buy cut paste in colors that match the color of the bark, so you don't notice it as much. But for rough work like this, I just use this stuff here and seal these cuts here. And as the new growth becomes woody, time goes on and they get stronger, I can come back and make these cuts even a little closer. But you do that very gradually with an azalea. Otherwise you could kill off something that you were hoping to keep. You know. pretty much that's that. And what I'll do is again, when this stuff grows out to where I can eventually do more design work and styling on the tree, I'll post a follow-up, and you'll see within a year or two, this is going to turn into a beautiful bonsai. And actually, this coming winter, probably end of January, February, yeah, probably February, is probably when I'll go and I'll repot this. I will remove probably 2/3 of the roots that are in this container, maybe even more, depending on the status of the roots in there, and maybe won't be ready for a bonsai pot next in the winter, but the following year after that, I don't see any reason why I can't then do a little more light pruning and get this into a bonsai pot. But this tree has a lot of potential to be a beautiful azalea bonsai. All right, thank you guys. Bye. Hey guys, also I wanted to show that I created this sort of a comic book style bonsai guide for the beginner. I drew and put it together. I sell it on Amazon and through Kindle, and it's only a few dollars. It's inexpensive, but it's a great guide just for initial beginner to know what to do. There's some techniques, concerning other types of techniques that you don't always get with the beginner, but I think you'd be very happy with it. It's inexpensive. Explains the soil and repotting and pruning and different considerations for bending branches and all that. All right, thank you. Bye.